Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. We eat to live. We trust what we buy. We rarely stop to question what actually reaches our plate. But perhaps it's time we did. Every single day, millions of Indians sit down to a meal believing it to be safe, pure and worth every rupee they have paid. But behind that trust lies a growing crisis. From adulterated milk, fake spices and synthetic paneer to counterfeit edible oils, harmful chemicals, misleading labels and shrinkflation that gives you less for the same price. Food fraud has silently crept into kitchens across the country. This is not just about what we eat, it's about our health. It's about our families, our children, and the basic right of every consumer to know whether the food they are buying is safe, authentic, and lives up to the promises printed on the packet. When trust is broken, it is a consumer who pays the price, sometimes with their money, sometimes with their health, and sometimes with far more. That is why NewsX is launching Food Fighters. It's a first of its kind campaign dedicated to exposing food fraud, uncovering adulteration, also tracking fake products, calling out misleading marketing, and demanding greater accountability from manufacturers, retailers, and regulators. Because safe food is not a privilege, it is a right. And until every consumer can trust what is on their plate, we will continue to ask the tough questions, follow the trail, and fight for the truth. Well, welcome to Food Fighters. Now, Hyderabad is waging a war against food fraud. From rotten chicken to fake paneer, from cockroach-infested storerooms to food made with synthetic ingredients. The city has seen a sharp rise in food adulteration cases over the past few months. To tackle this growing threat, the Hyderabad police has launched HFAST, the Hyderabad Food Adulteration Surveillance Team, a specialized task force dedicated to hunting down unsafe food and those responsible for it. The task force, led by the city police, conducts intelligence-based surprise raids at food manufacturing units, godowns, restaurants and retail outlets in coordination with food safety officials. Take a look at what HFAST raids across the cities, including Zepto, storehouse and eateries, uncovered.
Your next meal. Look again. Pests. Filth. Rotten meat. This isn't a horror story. It's what food safety officials say they found during a series of raids across Hyderabad. Hyderabad's food safety crackdown has lifted the lid of a disturbing reality. From quick commerce warehouses to restaurants, from central kitchens feeding thousands of students to meat shops, inspectors are finding a shocking pattern of filth, pests, and rotten food. The latest raid targeted a Zepto store in Malepalli, where food safety officials found cockroaches and rodents inside the facility. The case has now been handed over for action under the Food Safety and Standards Act. But that was just the beginning. At a paratha manufacturing unit in Tadban, officials found food being prepared in unsanitary conditions, improper handling practices, and even packets bearing advanced dated packaging. The seized material has been handed over to the police. In Secunderabad, inspectors discovered rotten chicken being stored and sold at a fisheries outlet. The owner was booked, the rotten stock was seized, and a fine was imposed. The crackdown has also exposed serious lapses in places that prepare food for students. Food safety teams inspected the central kitchens of Sri Chaitanya and Narayana educational institutions, where meals are prepared for thousands of students every day. What they found has raised serious questions. Heavy fly infestations, stray dogs near kitchen entrances, cat feces inside storage areas, open garbage bins, poorly maintained equipment, water stagnation, unhygienic vegetable handling, outdated water test reports, and expired medical fitness certificates of food handlers. Both central kitchens have now been served improvement notices, with authorities ordering immediate corrective action. The inspections didn't stop there. At a restaurant in Uppal, officials found flies and cockroaches inside the storeroom and dining area. Improper storage of non-vegetarian food, uncovered food items, personal hygiene was poor among staff, and garbage bins were left open. The establishment was fined Rs 25,000. In another raid, officials also detected a unit allegedly manufacturing soft drinks without a valid FSSAI license under unsanitary conditions. Elsewhere, a hotel was found using artificial food colors in chicken with around 10 kilograms of the product discarded on the spot. But these are not isolated instances. They paint a worrying picture of repeated hygiene failures across different parts of the city. Authorities say that the drive will continue, warning that any food business found compromising public health will face strict action. For consumers, the message is clear. The food on your plate may not always be as safe as it looks. And for food businesses, the warning is even clearer. Clean up or face the consequences. Bureau Report, NewsX.
Now, Hyderabad may be famous for its biryani, halim and rich culinary heritage, but when it comes to food hygiene, the city is making headlines for the wrong reasons. According to the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, Hyderabad ranks last amongst India's major metro cities in the adoption of FSSAI hygiene ratings. The numbers tell the story. The city has an estimated 75,000 food outlets. Of these, only about 25,000 are licensed. But the food nightmare does not end here yet. Out of these 25,000 licensed outlets, only 361 eateries have an official FSSAI hygiene rating. That is less than 2% of all licensed food establishments. This despite Hyderabad being one of India's biggest food destinations with an annual food industry worth more than 10,000 crore rupees. The comparison with other cities is even more concerning. Delhi has 3,394 hygiene-rated eateries. Bengaluru has more than 2,200. Even Ahmedabad and Jaipur have significantly higher adoption of the hygiene rating system. But the concern does not end there. Despite repeated reports of food adulteration, food poisoning and hygiene violations, the total penalty collected in 2025 is just 14 lakh rupees. A figure many say does not reflect the scale of the problem. All this comes even as authorities continue to uncover rotten meat, pest-infested kitchens, adulterated dairy products, synthetic spices and illegal food manufacturing units during inspections. For a city that takes immense pride in its food, the challenge today is not just to serve great food, it is to serve safe food. Because in the end, what matters most is not just the taste on the plate, but the trust behind it. Let's go across to my colleague Raj Kiran, who's filed this ground report from HFast, Hyderabad, and has also spoken with some of the locals.
I'm standing in front of HFast Hyderabad office. This is behind me. This is the office where HFast team will be working from here in different parts of Hyderabad. This HFast team has the day before yesterday raided on a Zepto store in which they have found adulteration, and they also found the cockroaches and the non-hygienic place in which they have seized many products, as well as the people who are running that store has been taken into the custody and handed over to the police station. जो जिप्टो का मामला रिसेंटली बाहर आया है, परसों मल्लेपल्ली में जिप्टो स्टोर को सीज किया गया है, जहां पर अनहाइजीनिक कॉकरोचेस उस तरह से दिखाई दे रहे थे। पुलिस तो उसके तरफ से एक्शन ले रही है, उसके बावजूद भी इस तरह की चीज़ें बहुत सारे बाहर निकले। क्या कहना है इसके ऊपर?
देखिए, पहली बात मैं हुकूमत से मैं बोलना चाहूँगा कि हुकूमत इस मामले में और आवाम की सेहत और आवाम की ज़िंदगियों के खिलावट ना करें। सबसे कीमती बात यह है कि वो जो ज़िम्मेदार हजरात है जो इस मामले में जो अपने आप को जो है एक अनअथराइज कहते हैं कि भाई हम जिम्मेदारी पूरी कर लिए। देखिए, लोगों की ज़िंदगी आपको देने से कोई ज़िंदगी नहीं आई।
आए दिन इस ताल्लुक़ से शिकायतें आती रहती है, समझे अखबारात में भी आता है और आजकल व्हाट्सएप पे भी आ रहा है, कई चीज़ें वायरल हो रही है। ये जो ज़ेप्टो के ज़िम्मेदार आ रहे हैं उनको भी चाहिए कि अपने किचन्स वगैरह जो बनाने की चीज़ें हैं उसको नीट रखें, उसको सही देखभाल रखें और काम करने वाले वर्कर अच्छे रखें और वहाँ का मटेरियल जो यूज़ होता है वो अच्छा रखना।
सबसे पहले तो ज़ेप्टो से जो लोग परचेस कर रहे हैं, लोग बहुत ही आसान परचेसिंग होना बोल के ज़ेप्टो से परचेस कर ले रहे हैं। उसका नतीजा जो आप देखे हैं और मैं भी देखा हूँ, हालत पूरे ज़ेप्टो के बल्कि जितने सर्विसेज हैं सबके वही हाल है। इसके अंदर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को चाहिए कि इसके अंदर तेलंगाना ना कि आवाम के लिए चीफ मिनिस्टर, इसके अंदर जो फूड डिपार्टमेंट है, फूड डिपार्टमेंट हो या GHMC हो, इसके अंदर ये लोग सीरियस लेना चाहिए इशू को। लेने के बाद केसेस बुक कर रहे हैं, उसके बाद इमीडिएट उसको जो है रिलीज कर दे रहे हैं।
Charu Mathur, food law expert, is joining us now on the broadcast. Charu Mathur, what do you make of what has come to light in Hyderabad from prominent stores, from prominent eateries?
So thank you for having me. So the situation is really grim. So if you look at, there are many laws which can be put into the force and not just the FSA rule. So if you look at this particular case, it is effectively only through the dark stores that these quick commerce they sell. But what governs the quick commerce, you have to look into it. So the municipal corporation, your food law, your environment law, all they come into the picture. First, I think municipality has to look for this reason that why they are allowing the shops to be open even in the residential area. Are they compliant with the shop and establishment order? If this quick commerce is working as a food operating business, that means it has a turnover of at least 20 crore rupees, and the penalty for each breach has to be 5 lakh rupees. That is what the statute provides. Further down, if you look at it, that in India we don't have any law, a single law governing dark stores, and that is why they are proliferating without any check. So there are environmental law, there are food law, there is meteorology law. There are 6 or 7 laws which will govern this, but effectively if you see, there is no compliance. As a consumer, as a parent, as a person, as a human, we are suffering. And it is, why do we use quick commerce? Because we don't have time and we are using it for our benefit, we are purchasing time essentially. But if we are not getting quality, then it is a high risk that we are playing. And the government, if you look at this quick commerce, it is coming out with an IPO of almost 8,000 crore rupees. And if this is the kind of services that we are getting, then we have to really relook at it.
Yes. Also,
so that is my take on it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because Charu, the fact is that these are just certain eateries and certain stores that this team has visited of HFAST. What the situation in others can be, we can only just imagine. But how important is it also for states to form such teams which are doing this work on ground?
Yeah, they have to actually look into it, and it is a massive regulatory gap that is there.
No, I'm saying, do you believe other states should also follow suit and have such teams?
Absolutely. On priority, they should do that. It is ultimately the right to life is our fundamental right. And if the nutrition, the food that we are eating is adulterated like this, then what is the purpose of the entire system to be there?
Thank you very much, Charu Mathur, for joining us with your perspective on this segment. Let's slip into a short break.